Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Deepika Rupert Gardner, Associate Professor of English from BVRIT Hyderabad, College of Engineering for Women, India. I'm going to talk about Girish Karnad's play, The Broken Images, today. My track is Indian literature and the topic is Unmasked, the truth laid bare. So it is based on the play Broken Images, a psychological thriller by Girish Karnad, the doyen of Indian writing in English and an eminent playwright, director, and actor of postmodern India. He has explored many topics, and this is something different. He has transformed the way we think. He's one of the finest playwrights to weave real life into drama with a tongue-in-cheek humor. The hallmark of the 21st century is technology, an age of digital and electronic interaction and intervention. The world of education is dramatically transformed into a virtual world within a very short span of time, as we all know. Today we are living more in a virtual world than in reality. This paper has a multi-layered theme, but I shall be focusing on the mask, the face behind the mask. And of course, I'm not talking about the corona mask, but the mask behind which each of us lives. So there are actually three types of masks we'll be dealing with. And before we go into it, I would like to tell that T.S. Eliot's Wasteland was these lines which prompted to take the title. For you know only a heap of broken images where the sun beats and the dead tree gives no shelter. So when a person becomes a fractured personality, his or her psyche is destroyed. That's what happens. And these multi-layered themes, as you can see, are basically identity crisis. Who we are, whether we are the real person who the world sees us as, or who we think we are, or what actually we are. And why does this happen is because of parental neglect. Unknowingly or knowingly, parents neglect children and there arises sibling rivalry and intellectual inferiority. All children are different. Each has their own qualities and competence, and we cannot compare them. This story is about two sisters, Manjula, who is a professor of English, but she writes short stories in Kannada and is not very successful. The other sister is Malini, who is paralytic and bound to the wheelchair, and she lived with her parents, but because of her, Manjula was sent to live in the village with her grandparents, and she used to keep waiting for the holidays to come and live with her parents and her sister. But of course, as we realize the story goes on, that Malini had a lot of privileges because of her special condition, and that is why she was kind of a superior sibling than Manjula. And that gradually was in her mind, which created a fragmented or fractured personality of Manjula. And then we find that as the play progresses, Manjula gets married to Pramod. And then after her parents die, Malini comes to live with her in her flat. And she's shown to be more vivacious and beautiful and the better intellectual than Manjula. And Manjula's husband, Pramod, is a software engineer who works from home. So obviously they get close and he falls in love with Malini. And afterwards what happens is when she dies, Malini dies, Manjula takes her manuscript and publishes it as a novel in her name, and she becomes an instant success across the globe because the book is written in English, and it also talks about the supremacy of English language over the other Indian languages. And we all know that Girish Karnad also was a Konkani, and he used to write in Kannada and then translate them into English, and his plays and books have been translated into many Indian languages. So that was also one aspect in this poem, in this play. So we talk here about the clash between the psyche, the fractured personality. Shabana Azmi, the famous actor, has played this role. It's a 55-minute play, very strong, powerful, and emotional, with just one set where there's a television set and the actor. And the three-sided personality is projected in that. So there's a beautiful slide which I have taken from the Newcastle University, thanks to them. So here the key questions are: parental onus. Identity crisis happens because parents are not being responsible towards the children. As the child grows, he or she doesn't get enough attention, and then sibling rivalry also happens. There is intellectual inferiority. Each child is competent in their own field. They have different qualities and talents, and that should be nurtured, and they should not be compared. So these are the key questions, and then what happens is if it is not done, then there is the psyche is hurt, there's guilt, and all those kinds of things happen. Then these are the three things: as the world perceives us, as we see ourselves, and what the reality actually is. These are the different three-sided personality that we deal with. So basically, it comes back again to the parents. The parents need guidance. If parents are able to take care of the children who are very fragile and very delicate in their mind, they trust parents absolutely, and they should be unconditionally loved, no matter how many children you have, so that this does not happen. Here, because of that, Manjula's psyche is affected. She feels inferiority complex. She's jealous of her sister Malini. And then finally, when she dies, she steals her manuscript and publishes it in her name. Because of that, she gets a guilt complex then. So that's how things happen. Parents need to understand that they have to spend time with their children. They have to show that they are special too, no matter what. And then the conclusion is that they need counseling. They need to be responsible. They are bringing a life into this world which needs to be nurtured very well. Only then it will be a genuine and wholesome personality, what we need in the world today. There are so many mental health problems happening, people committing suicide at all ages. It's a very sad scenario. And somewhere that fragmented personality and that identity crisis is lurking behind. So self-analysis and self-reflection is very important. Children have to be taught to understand themselves. Know thyself and love thyself. Unless we love ourselves, we cannot have a better relationship with others. Unless we know ourselves, how can we have good interpersonal communication with others or relationships with them? So this is very important. Otherwise, it's a fractured personality like Manjula. And healing has to happen, self-esteem has to be there, and self-love has to be there. So parents play a very important role. They should be a real good parent. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. There's no perfect human being. So just be a real one, a genuine one. Love children, take care of them, encourage them, listen to them, give time to them, handle them with care. So that is what is required. And then the big concept is be genuine, be real. Don't wear masks. Be unmasked, be real you. And there should be no differentiation and no fragmentation. Then things happen properly.